This is Danny from Baltimore, Maryland, representing one of the 6 Wolves fans in Baltimore. You're listening to DU Football Show.
And if what happened didn't happen, their game absolutely would have led the show.
Oh, yeah.
There's no doubt about it. That game would have led the show. And he unfortunately has family coming into town, so he wasn't able to do his full-blown drinking bit.
I was annoyed because we just became friends on Facebook, and I didn't see any of his travails from the other day.
It's only a matter of time. You'll see it soon enough.
Yeah.
Let's start the show.
Born in the land of Bowie, Maryland. Bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Houston.
Sam Houston?
Arsenal fans have another Sam. AKA the fucking Gooner Graham. Smell the Malort. Looks great in shorts. Sam Grammy.
Sam Graham.
Fucking United! Fucking United!
Hello and welcome to the DU Football Show, a completely biased recap of the English Premier League as told by 2 common American schmucks.
That's us.
I am your host, Sam Houston, and across the way from me, the angel of death.
Come on.
Mr. Samuel Graham.
They will all die.
How you doing, good sir?
Doing very well.
Excellent.
You remember the old Pokemon, gotta catch them all?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, gotta kill them all.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
They're all gonna die.
You gonna put that esteemed Metallica record on?
Oh, yeah. It's
Yeah.
gonna be all, it's, you know what? The bonus track from the famed Korn album, Follow the Leader, if you listen to the 7 tracks of silence after the last song that's listed on the album, reverse side of the album, is Dead Bodies Everywhere. And every time I walk in the garage, Mel, I have it playing on my phone.
That is what it is all the time. And speaking of that, on the 1s and 2s, we have producer Mel. How you doing, producer Mel?
Pretty good. I'm headed to Graham's house tomorrow with a shoebox. No reason. Definitely not picking up refugees.
That's your problem, sir.
They're not welcome here.
Definitely not going to write like a little red cross on the side, a little opening.
Did you just buy a blue tick on Facebook?
Yeah.
They're not welcome here. What?
Not in my backyard. Not in my backyard.
Careful.
We're recording at the DU Public House just outside the nation's capital. You can check us out wherever you get your podcasts, and of course, streaming live every single Monday night. Should you want to chat with us, there is many ways that you can. Mr. Graham, tell the good people how they can get in touch.
They can help me build that steel wool wall. Okay. Oh, fantastic stuff. It is at DU Football Show on all the social media. It's at DUFootballShow@gmail.com to get in touch via email.
fucking
I am on fire.
fucking Graham.
Just dispose of them properly and don't leave them in random trash cans in Central Park.
Yeah. Those are
Graham.
bears. Come on.
You said something about a head and beat on a spike, and you said all that.
Yeah, fucking Vlad the Impaler. I'm doing it.
Yeah, Graham is the general from A Few Good Men.
Yeah.
You want me on that wall. you need me on that wall.
Yeah. Jack
You
Nicholson.
want me in that garage.
Or Jack Nicklaus, rather.
Yeah. You need me in that garage. Just too funny.
No, Jack Nicklaus is the golfer. Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson,
Yeah.
yes.
That's
Very
what
good.
I always fuck it up.
Yeah, you're good.
Every time.
No problem. You know what else you fuck up?
What?
Fucking mice. Sam and myself both work in the wine and spirit industry and both have a deep, passionate love for all things distilled spirits. So as the red-blooded Americans we are, we've got to have a drink in our hand throughout this show and every single show. Mr. Graham revisiting one from last year's top 20.
Yes, we are. This is the Highland Park Cask Strength single malt Scotch whiskey, 64.3% by volume. If you're keeping track at home, that's 128.6 proof.
She a big girl.
It's a big one, this one, which might be why we're so giddy already, to be honest. Had a couple during sound check. It needs a cube. Definitely needs a cube. I do remember this whiskey neat. It is absolutely delicious. But it, with Scotch being so grainy in general, it lends to it being quite hot.
Yeah.
So you definitely need a cube with this whiskey, but it's absolutely spot on. It's fantastic.
It really is.
I do want to say somewhere along the line there might have been some sherry influence, but I don't know that for certain. It could just be a very long time in bourbon barrels.
No, Highland Park, I guarantee you, it's a hogshead. It's that
a sherry butt.
Sherry butt.
Yeah,
definitely.
'Cause there definitely is a red wine influence in here somewhere.
No,
yeah,
it's Edrington, and Edrington has a pipeline directly to sherry barrels. And when we did some tasting on Highland Park, it wasn't the cask strength that we taste, but with those guys, they were talking about that they use sherry barrels, not just for Macallan, but also for Highland Park.
You get some of those almond notes, little bit of that dark fruit as well. It's not port because there's no chocolate. But yeah, I get a lot of nuttiness there over the mid palate, and then a bit of that dark fruit on the finish. It's so fucking good.
This is edition 4, correct?
This is
should say on the front.
Does not say on the front.
Oh, it does not. Okay, I believe it's edition 4, and so
release number 4. It says on the back right here. Yep.
You won't find this one. Maybe in a liquor store, you might. I think it was like about $1.30.
It does have a touch of peat smoke as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that is Isle of Orkney, and once you get into the island quote whiskeys, there's always a little bit of peat influence.
Now,
there
this,
as well.
you know what the tasting notes say here on the back? It says a wild harmony of spice, citrus fruit, toasted oak, and floral peat smoke notes. I don't know that I get any real citrus from this at all, to be fair.
No, I don't.
I actually get more dark fruit, like kind of plum.
Yeah,
almost.
I'm with you. Very much so.
I'm not sure that these either my palate's fucked or these people don't know what they're talking about.
But edition 5 is about to come out, so you'll be finding that soon enough too.
I might try to find a bottle of that actually, even if it's not on the list.
Yeah, it's a great fucking whiskey, and it's Highland Park isn't terribly expensive either, which is nice. What else do we always have to do, Mr. Graham?
Always remember to drink responsibly, my friends.
Let's have ourselves a good show, Mr.
Let's
Graham.
do that. Yeah.
Oh, listen to that.
Isn't that so clink there?
That was a nice ass clink. Well
where
done.
I'm sending the mice right to the clink. The Kit Kat, as Jay-Z would say.
We open at the top of the table as the lead is now 8 points. While it didn't come easy for the Reds, at least it wasn't a terrible, humbling loss for the citizens. Liverpool 3, Southampton 2, Tottenham 4, Manchester City 0. Not an easy day at the office for Liverpool for any stretch. I mean, Southampton gave them a game.
They did, kinda. Where I kind of diverge from your perspective here is both teams weren't spectacular.
Yeah.
Everything they got given was given to them by the opposition.
Mm-hmm. Oh, very true. Very true. But especially when you look at the first half, the first 2 goals.
100%.
The goal for Liverpool was literally a pass off the end line right to the 18.
To the edge of the 18 for no reason.
Right.
I said 2, if not all 3 of Liverpool's goals were gifted, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
But it was also, again, like I said, kind of the same with Southampton. And everybody was able to pounce on those mistakes, really. Now, Kelleher also saved a penalty in this game.
Mm-hmm. I was going to say, for you, was that a pen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
And I
think so.
I'm okay with the justification that we got, which was the call on the field was pen, and there wasn't conclusive evidence to turn it or clear and obvious. They finally used it the right way.
Well, you know what gives us that perspective?
Mm-hmm.
American football. In American challenges in American football.
Right.
It's, we can't tell by this replay, so we're not changing it.
Right. This is what it is.
Yeah.
Now what needs...
That's fine. The people in England are going fucking nuts because they don't know. They don't have that perspective.
What I think needs to start happening is the ref on the field needs to start being more conclusive. Make the call you think it is.
Yes.
And let them tell you
fair.
You're clearly wrong.
Very fair.
Because if you're not clearly wrong, then you are the guy on the field making the call.
Yes.
You're not wrong.
But we've had that issue the entire time so far, really, with the introduction of VAR for years now. Now, Armstrong didn't make up for that missed pen with a goal shortly after.
So was the rebound. Shortly after, it was right after.
Well, yeah, it was right after. It's actually immediate. It was the next action.
Right, exactly.
Fair enough.
Well done.
Slobosai had a decent goal, obviously, and then Fernandez actually gave the Saints the lead.
Now, here's the thing
in
I
this
wanted
one.
to bring up is up front, they went with the 2-striker system, and they had Armstrong, and they had just recently back from injury, Oenachu.
He was excellent, I thought.
That is exactly what I wanted to bring up. I felt like despite the fact that Southampton scored their second goal and took the lead after his exit, that was because of a quick counterattack. The game completely changed the minute he went off the field injured.
Yeah.
Completely
He was
changed.
one of the few people I thought had a very good performance. Like there was a fair amount of sloppy play in this game, to be completely honest. A lot of giveaways. But Onuachu was a bright spot for me.
He was
there was a
dancing
weird
around.
he's
He
a very
dancing through their midfield.
well, he was a tall, lanky man as well. So not only was he dancing through the midfield, it was also fucking comical to watch him dance through the midfield.
Because it's just like legs everywhere.
Yeah, legs and arms just everywhere, just flopping and flying.
It's
it
like
was very funny.
our old teammate Stick. You know?
Yeah,
It's
I
just-
was confused watching it.
Yeah. You're just
So I
like-
can't imagine if it was happening in front of me.
But the ball never went off his foot.
No,
Nobody
it was
taking
right
it
there
away from him.
And then, but every time he did like a 4 or 5 move kind of situation to beat 1 or 2 players, I loved. I think it was midway through the first half. He did a step over, held another player off, backed up, did something else, and then for no reason at all, the easiest thing that should have been done, no look pass.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm gonna.
Yep. That was pretty great.
I'm gonna just no look pass just cause.
'Cause
he beat,
why not?
You know, two, 3 players, and I'm.
Oh, yeah. Watch this.
Yeah, it's going that way.
Put
Now.
over this way.
Yeah.
We get into this. Obviously, the Saints take the lead 2-1. And at that point, Mo had been kind of quiet the bulk of the game, and then Mo just took over.
Yeah, big time. To the point where after his 2 goals to give Liverpool the lead, obviously, he scored the equalizer, decent goal, and then scored the penalty as well in the 85th, which clear handball. There's another. He tried to contest it. You handled it.
Yeah.
Mo Salah asked the referee how much stoppage time there was. You're like, oh, he wants a hat trick.
He wanted a hat trick.
He's going for it. I thought his comments after the game were interesting.
That's exactly what I wanted to get to. Now, do you have anything more about the game itself to mention?
I do.
So, and then we'll get to that.
I do, and I can't remember the cunt's name, so I have to look it up real quick. But there was a defender that came on for
Southampton.
Southampton.
Yeah, he's the one who got the handball.
Yeah. I think it was Sugawara.
Yeah,
that had
Japanese
the same situation. But it might have been Harbor Velis. I'm not sure. But Mo Salah, shortly after the penalty, obviously Liverpool were pushing. Southampton were pushing to get an equalizer and left some space. It was about 2-3 minutes after the penalty.
Right.
Ball gets played over the top, I think, from Gravenberch. And Mo Salah, is running. I'm listening to this on XM because I'm working all weekend. Mm-hmm. Mo Salah runs onto a great first touch and then spins away from the defender. And I hear the announcer just go, he goes, ball played over the top. He goes, he just spun away from him there. He might need a ticket to get back into the ground. And I was like, that is one of the best disses I've ever heard from a commentator. Brilliant. He might need a ticket to get back into the game here. That was fantastic. That was it.
So after the match,
I can't get rid of this fucking...
Mo is not one to talk a lot. He does a few interviews and he'll do some post-match stuff, but he's not a guy to talk a ton. And he normally keeps it very low-key, very reserved. And he was polite, and it wasn't jaded, and it wasn't pointed, but it was direct. And he was being asked about his contract, and he's like, look, they haven't offered me anything.
Well, what was interesting about these comments, this last summer, all the speculation was going to Saudi.
Yeah.
It was like, he's definitely out of here. He's definitely gone. He's definitely this. He's definitely that. And then for him to come out and be like, yeah, well, there's no offer, so I guess I'm, probably leaving.
Right. Yeah. Like.
Oh, so you want to stay?
Right. Then
you would consider staying.
then where's the fucking contract offer?
But where's the press been about that?
Right.
About you possibly be open to the idea about staying? Because all the press has been, you're gone.
Well, everybody just assumed he was going to get sold last year to Saudi because he was on 1 year left on his deal. Now, I doubt he would go to Saudi. I knowing him, he'd probably go someplace where he could still win Champions Leagues and shit like that, because he can now go to a Barca or Madrid on a free.
Oh,
on a fucking free?
Yeah. I mean, they don't have money to pay him.
Yeah. I mean,
that's why Gundogan's back.
Right. That
His
wouldn't
checks might
surprise
not
me
clear.
to see that happen. But here's the bigger thing. A now 8-point lead, and while he did everything right, and this is not, my blue-colored glasses do not like to pay a compliment to a Liverpudlian, he did everything right. This can still ultimately become a massive fucking distraction as they try to win a title.
Oh, yeah.
He's massive.
He's their Champions League top scorer. Mm-hmm. He's their Premier League top scorer now. He's still not the all-time leader for Liverpool, but he's close. He's fucking close.
Yeah.
As it goes, one more contract and he may pass Ian Rush.
Right. Yeah.
I would love him to stay. It's hard. As just a football fan, you want the best players to be in the league that you're watching.
Right.
He is one of the best players in the world, period.
Absolutely.
He's awesome. It makes the Premier League better to have him in the league. I would like him to stay.
Right.
As an Arsenal fan, if I was looking through my glasses,
like, get the fuck out of here.
Fuck off.
Yeah. Oh, trust me, as an Everton fan, I'm like, you fuck right off. Look.
Yeah. But just as a football fan in general, I don't want the Premier League to turn into Liga.
Yeah.
Or the Turkish league where everybody's a retirement community.
Right, right.
For the European retirement community is the Turkish league. I don't want that.
Right.
I want you to I want to see exhilarating, exciting football where anyone can beat anyone any week. Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So precisely. I want him to be in England. Yeah. I want him to keep playing in England.
Precisely.
And it's a shame. And if Liverpool don't sort that out, honestly, he could literally go anywhere and he's the highest paid player in Liverpool.
Right.
So the money's not an object. I mean, I don't think that's the problem. I don't think, he is a Muslim, as far as I know. I don't think being closer to Mecca in the Saudi league is super important like it was for N'Golo Kante, for instance. He wanted to go for that reason and the payday.
Right.
So great. Okay, good for you. That's, it's fine. You have your reasons to do so. I don't think that's super important to Mo. It's that we thought it might have been. Now, after this interview,
right? I
don't think it is.
Yeah.
I think he'll stay if they offer him the right deal. If you come in with 325, 350, 375, I think he stays.
Yeah.
And that's just better for the league. I've said this about Manchester United. While it's great for this show, and it might be good for the show, oftentimes is not good for your team.
Right.
But to have Manchester United winning games is good for the Premier League. Right? Well, we've said it a lot of times. But the fact, and obviously we'll come on to it, they drew Ipswich. Well, and there's a lot of jokes, and we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there.
But it is better for the Premier League if United are good, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I hope he stays. I really do. I hope the Henry Group and LeBron James figures his shit out and gets him signed.
It's not written in the notes, but I want to make this very, very clear. Tottenham kicked the ever-loving shit out of Manchester City. They beat them in every fucking aspect of the game. Mm-hmm. They made them look fucking pedestrian. And they prove that they're up 2-0 20 minutes into the fucking match.
Yeah. City did still have chances, though. So they weathered an early storm, Tottenham did. But they hit City on the counter a couple of times. James Maddison, fucking couple of peach of a goal that he had, two of them. Kulusevski's performance, I think, has gone somewhat underrated, even though everyone's talking about it.
Right.
He was absolutely fucking phenomenal in this game. And I'm trying to be as neutral as I can, as pundity as I can, while talking about Spurs, because this was an absolute shellacking. City are City. They will create some chances no matter what. They did. And, however, Vicario, looked like a good keeper, which is insane.
I know.
Which means your chances weren't that good because Vicario oftentimes isn't the best keeper in the world.
No, not at all.
Right? So, by my count, he made like 2 great saves. Everything else was fairly routine.
Yeah.
And City they're just off the boil. I think part of that revolves around, obviously Rodri's out, right? Okay, go ahead.
So Rodri's out.
Yeah.
Kovacic is now out.
Now, right. So
Like,
your ready-made replacement
is out as well, and I think that's what's really killing him is that
it completely unbalances the midfield,
and
it leaves
Pep,
a gap of space that they're not used to leaving as a team.
Pep, he's always had that guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's always like with Fernandinho and
Alex Song.
Yeah, those guys
he bought
did
from
that
Arsenal
job.
at Barcelona.
Yeah, they did that job, and he doesn't have that right now, and they look fucking lost. Again, Kyle Walker looked like an old fucking man out there.
Kyle Walker surprised me this season with his form, to be completely fair. Speedy players, there is typically a bit of a drop-off at some point. Kyle Walker went from fucking 60 to 0.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what's going on with him, but I've heard multiple people over the past, kind of 2 days. If Kyle Walker is to continue in a top flight career and to continue in an international career specifically, there has to be a change made to a 3 at the back for England. And he has to be a center back. Like his time at right back is now done, and we can see that.
Right.
I also thought it was funny. Everybody says and is praising Timo Werner for this assist. What I know about Timo Werner over the last few seasons, over the last few years,
that was a shot.
That was definitely a shot that dribbled to Brennan Johnson in stoppage time.
Away,
that he tapped in. That was 100% a shot. And if you think otherwise, you're fucking daft as fuck.
So I've got a little remark that Graham Lasso made that I want to bring up to you.
Okay.
De Bruyne gets into it. There's a little bit of a pushing match. He gets a yellow card for it. And while that's all happening, Lasso goes, yeah, they're being bad sports. But, they're Manchester City. They're allowed to be bad sports. I want them to be bad sports. He was like encouraging it. It's like, no, motherfucker.
Well, because he wants to make them villainous. He doesn't want them to be likable, I think is what he's trying to say.
But he was praising them
poorly.
for doing it. Yeah, he was praising them for doing it. And it's like, no.
Yeah, I want to show these rich bastards for the petulant children they are.
Right. But
that's fine.
But he didn't phrase it that way. He phrased it as, yeah, they're one of the best teams in the world. This is how they should act. They should be upset like this. It's okay for them to be upset like this. And it was just
I'm out on that.
Really threw me for a loop. Okay, so
that's weird.
We're gonna finish this off here. Obviously it's an 8-point lead, and we know no lead is safe. But they play each other next week. Where do we think this kind of leaves the table?
I think them playing each other is going to give Arsenal an opportunity to get back into it, to be honest with you.
Well, I
think it's going to give Chelsea an opportunity.
A chance too. You got to.
We're tied on points. Yeah. We're actually tied on goal differential as well.
Also worth mentioning, Brighton are tied on points with both of you guys now too.
Yeah, they'll follow.
But still, they're in that. They're in that conversation.
I
for now.
think honestly, I think this is a chance to make it a 4-horse race next weekend, because I think they both, kind of like Arne Slot did against us, really, is don't drop points against the big boys. Beat everybody we're supposed to beat. Don't drop points. They can't make anything up on us. Right?
Right.
With this much of a lead, I think he's going to hold serve. I don't think it's going to be the most adventurous Liverpool performance next week.
I think City will be happy to get a draw.
I think
City will be
they'll
happy
be
to get a draw.
ecstatic for a draw the way they're playing currently.
They're going to Anfield.
Absolutely.
I think they'll be completely happy with
the
draw.
other thing is they're at Anfield. You're absolutely right. And Liverpool are looking at this situation and going, fuck, we could go 11 points clear. I think they will try for it. Kind of at 70%, if that makes sense. We'll give it a go, but if it ain't on, retreat.
Yeah.
Hold what you have, because you can't drop points and let them back into it. Is the key.
You can't let it go back to being 5 points.
And just coming up to my bet, one of the legs of my bet is Liverpool and City draw.
Yeah, fair
I think a 1-1, to be honest with you. That's just one of my many-legged parlay. Don't worry. I didn't disappoint.
I might have a double chance on Liverpool as well. We turn our attention to two clubs at the bottom of the table, but both going in opposite directions. And as a result, we see our second sacking of the season. Wolverhampton 4, Fulham 1, Chelsea 2, Leicester 1. Again, this would have opened the show.
Yeah.
Wolverhampton completely fucking spanking Fulham at Fulham would have absolutely led the show if City didn't lose.
I don't really think it was a super spanking. Fulham hit the woodwork twice.
Oh, yeah.
There was chances.
Yeah.
There were chances. And 3 of the 5 goals off the top of my head were absolutely spectacular. Alex Iwobi's left-footed strike to open the open proceedings.
Gorgeous.
Fantastic. And then you look at Cunha's second goal, right, was absolutely phenomenal. Basically the same thing, but with his right foot to the top right-hand corner from the left side of the field. Mm-hmm. They were absolutely excellent. And
fuck Alex Iwobi.
That's when he was with you.
Mm-hmm.
Now I like him again. He's back home in London.
I'm still using it.
Cunha's control for his first goal. Mm-hmm. Absolutely fucking phenomenal. Mm-hmm. That first touch, that long ball. I mean, on a full sprint, the way he controlled that ball and played it into his own path, it was able to. It's just absolutely brilliant. I mean,
Cunha's heating up. Cunha's heating up, and that whole offense is heating up.
100%. That entire though. What I'm saying is that entire passage of play, right? Those 3 kind of goals, those 3 happenings. That's why this is the beautiful game. Mm-hmm. Is those things that you can't. How the fuck did he do that? That's why this game is brilliant.
Now, despite the fact that there were opportunities for Fulham, this is still a bad loss at home, man.
Oh yeah, especially the form they're in. I mean, they've been brilliant all year. Yeah. I still, for the life of me, can't figure. It's probably because he tried to hit it too hard. Is really all it is. How Jimenez struck the woodwork from that chance. I mean, that was. Mm-hmm. I would have bet my mortgage that he'd have put that goal away.
Right. Yeah.
If I could have made a bet in an instant,
you would have.
I would have bet $3,000 on him to fucking bury that chance, and he fucking absolutely rifled it against the crossbar. Mm-hmm. And rifled it against the crossbar. That was terrible.
This is 2 in a row now for Wolves, and the schedule starts to get a lot easier for them. You got to feel like this. I mean, this win got them out of the drop, and it's like, yeah, they're moving in the right fucking direction. Well,
you always worry about the promoted sides managers. You also worry about the teams that kind of underperformed last season and worry about their managers, right? So Wolves, after selling Pedro Neto and all that kind of stuff this summer, they didn't have the greatest of times last season under Gary O'Neill anyway. You kind of worried for them.
The end of the season was strong for them there. They were flirting with Europe there for a
but they did have
the
hardest start to a Premier League season that any team had versus
hands down.
Their finishing league position versus the opponents they faced at the beginning of the season. Yeah. We said it a couple of weeks ago that it was going to start getting easier, and they're going to start doing things.
Right.
And they did.
Yeah.
But you got to look at it in the context where nothing's easy for promoted sides. Mm-hmm. So who's going to be the first guy to get let go, right? So you think about Leicester. I think we're going to talk about it in a second. Yeah. I think this is a bit harsh on Steve Cobble, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I would
or
agree.
Steve Cooper, rather.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. I think Kieran McKenna is doing a great job, in their situation.
Russell Martin's the one that should have been gone first, and he would have been gone if they lost to Everton. If they lost to Everton, he would have been fired.
Correct. You have Russell Martin here, and again, they could have won that game.
Yeah.
They gave Liverpool the win.
Absolutely.
So, the fact that I like the Wolves board for sticking with O'Neill. I think Gag O'Neill's doing a great job, and I think he just found himself in a difficult situation. I'm mad at Leicester's board for letting Cooper go, but I kind of understand it because last time they left it too late and ended up getting relegated. So I kind of understand it.
They got to do something now, and in all likelihood, I bet you it's fucking David Moyes.
And then Southampton.
Yeah.
How many times are you going to do the same thing over and over again before you call yourself insane?
Right. Precisely.
The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again.
And they do it every fucking week.
Getting the same result.
Give it away every fucking week.
Fucking time.
They do something like that first goal.
It's
every fucking week.
It's ridiculous.
Someone on defense assists the other team with a brilliant pass to right in front of the goal that they shouldn't have fucking done.
Now, again, Liverpool weren't spectacular. McCarthy still had to make 7 saves in the first half.
Yeah.
It's bad at Saints, right? Why he's not gone, I don't know, because I don't see that turning around because he's not going to get away from these tactics. You know, Wolves, I think they'll figure it out. I appreciate the board for sticking with him. And then, you know, I've made the
move
point.
on. We'll move on to Leicester.
Yeah.
This was complete domination by Chelsea.
The Highland Park is kicking in, to be honest.
Yeah, good. Complete domination by Chelsea here. And honestly, Chelsea should have had more because Leicester should have been down to 10 men because Wilfred Ndidi, that was absolutely positively without a doubt in my mind a fucking red. And how does VAR look at that and not go, that was clear and obvious? His spikes started just below his knee at the top of his fucking calf and went all the way down to his Achilles.
But he hugged him on the way down. So it's fine.
And he wasn't even going for the ball.
And
he was
Ndidi. He's a likable player.
It was so... And here's what killed him. It was also by the start of the second half, all 3 of their midfielders, which, by the way, their midfield is currently decimated with fucking injuries. All 3 of their fucking midfielders were on yellows. Like, you're fucked. And if all 3 of your fucking midfielders are on yellows, you're completely fucked.
So what I'm annoyed by with Cooper is where's Kieran Dewsbury Hall? Why didn't you bring him on for more than a cameo?
He went to Chelsea. He came on for a cameo with
I'm sorry.
Chelsea.
Yeah. I am still annoyed at Enzo Maresca. I mixed up my annoyance pieces.
Got it.
He should have played more.
Yeah.
It's against his former club. Give the guy a run out. From Leicester's point of view, the thing I am annoyed about with them is they had how many opportunities? They only managed a 1 shot on target. They withdraw Jamie Vardy, and you're left with just Jordan Ayew for about 25 minutes. He does score your penalty, fine. But the best chance you have to score a goal, and that's the only shot on target you have all game,
is a
penalty kick in stoppage time. But they had something ridiculous like 7 or 8 shots as a whole. You can't figure out how to put anything.
I will say what hurt them. I will give them a little bit of defense. Buonanotte had gotten his 5th yellow and was out for this match. He has been feeding Vardy all the fucking time.
That's fair.
I think there's a reason, like, because the commentators were so like, Vardy's not even involved. Well, the guy who gets Vardy the ball isn't on the pitch. That has something to do with it.
I think the reason Cooper got fired was because of the manner of the defeat.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Chelsea had loads of shots on target. They had loads of shots. They had loads of possession. They had loads of everything. It got to the point where Chelsea were saving shots from their own teammates.
Yeah, that was brilliant.
And he even recreated his trying to jump out of the way to show Cole Palmer.
Yeah.
I tried to jump out of the way.
Tried to jump out of the way.
Nani Madueke.
Yeah.
That was brilliant.
Fucking brilliant.
Very funny. But it got to that point where they were blocking their own team's efforts. And I think that's ultimately what got Cooper the sack, to be fair. And I don't think that's fair on him, to be honest.
Nick Jackson had his multi-goal involvement game, so now he'll do nothing for 4 matches until he does it again.
Yeah, but his goal was excellent.
Gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous hit.
Perfect first touch.
Yeah.
And then the outside of the boot, take it quick, catch the keeper off guard was brilliant.
I do kind of bullshit who gets an assist because he puts it off the post and somebody puts in the rebound.
Yeah, that is garbage. I don't like that.
Like,
if it doesn't count as a shot on target, it shouldn't count as an assist.
Motherfucking lost at fantasy because of that fucking assist.
That sucks
a little
for
foreshadowing.
We'll figure out who's doing better later.
Yeah. So,
and if you want to check out who's doing better in fantasy, you should always go to patreon.com/DFootballShow. Sign up to that $1 tier. You'll get injury time, which has our fantasy updates.
Now, here's the thing I kind of want to close this segment on is
Me being a good whore?
Yeah, you are.
Thank
Very
you.
good whore.
Appreciate
the
it.
Prettiest of
I'd
whores.
like my dues.
Well, yeah. You got that tussable hair. It's something to hold on to when you're giving an old ramming. That'll be on DU After Dark. But I've been saying it now for a few weeks that Leicester are sinking like a stone, and Leicester's schedule, the only team with a harder schedule than them over December is Everton. And
here we go.
Everton got everybody.
It's about to be fun.
Everton play.
This
all
show's
of them.
about to get fun.
Yeah, I'll be doing a lot of Malort in
Making
December.
fun of you a lot.
Yeah,
I like that.
I'm ready for that. I'm ready for it.
It actually starts today. In another bit of foreshadowing, Mel, if you could you just tell me the first 2 words of what I wrote for Everton Brentford there?
Yeah,
I
there you
didn't even
go.
take notes on it.
It's already there.
I love that I turned my mic off for that.
But this is about to get very bad for Leicester unless they hire, honestly, a save us from relegation type manager like a Moyes or I'd say Sam Allardyce, but he got relegated
Twice. Simpatico.
Yes, very much simpatico. Rounding out the rest of the league, so that happened. Brighton 2, Bournemouth 1, Everton 0, Brentford 0, Arsenal 3, Forest 0, Villa 2, Palace 2, Man United 1, Ipswich 1, West Ham 2, Newcastle 0. For Brighton, the right players are getting healthy and scoring. It's
Bro.
Pedro and Matoma. Those are exactly the guys you want to see healthy and scoring.
Kepa had a great save for Pedro's goal. Came from a different player. Can't remember who it was. But fantastic save. Just unlucky that João Pedro was in the right space at the right time.
Yep.
Was obviously able to finish. But the build-up to both goals, like that led to that shot in general, and then the build-up to Matoma's second goal. Brighton played some slick stuff.
Yeah.
Very happy with them. And not Flecken, that's Brentford's keeper, who actually also did some good work. But Verbruggen played his arse off in this game.
Well, especially because Brighton was on cruise control until that second yellow. And after that second yellow, that was...
Of course.
Bournemouth just needed that spark. And Bournemouth's an offensive enough team that you're going to have to fucking dig in. And Brighton did a great job. Credit to them.
Yep.
They did a great job of digging in. And Verbruggen made that big save right at the end. The ball at the post.
So I think Evan Nilsson deserved a goal in this game. It probably should have finished 2-2 on the balance of play.
I don't disagree.
Would have been a fair result. Evan Nilsson was let down twice by teammates straying offsides in his sort of key moments, which is unfortunate. Obviously, put the ball in the back of the net, but the pass before the pass to him is somebody was adjudged to have been offsides. But again, for Bregan, and Semenyo, I think, hit the post, the crossbar
right at the end.
with literally the last kick of the game as well. But I think Brighton, they did their slick stuff. They played their football. It was good. What I want to complain about, though, is Baliba. And this is why you don't get stupid yellows. That first yellow was absolutely fucking silly. It was dumb. Why even get involved? Why do what you did here? What's the point of that?
Yeah.
To then a stupid foul, which you have to kind of give up, almost a professional foul, if you will.
And then you're off. And your team is now down a man, and they got to hold on to a win on the road.
Also, you're on the road. I'd like to see I can't remember the coach's name. It just escaped me. For Brighton.
Yeah, I can't remember his name either. The young fella.
Actually, he's young to me too. Yeah, because I'm as old as Danny Welbeck.
Show title.
The young fella. Fuck off. Glasner is Crystal Palace's manager. This is someone else.
Keep it rolling.
I'll figure it out. It's you got to sub them off.
Yeah.
in this situation. You're away from home.
Yeah, get him off.
You
Get him
need
off
your
the fucking
players.
pitch.
He picked up a stupid yellow. He's prone. His position is prone to picking up a professional foul.
Didn't
You got
help
to sub him out.
Lallana got hurt early. That didn't help either. So that kind of hurt him a little bit too. So there were some issues.
Mel, is anybody in the chat yelling at me yet for not remembering his name? It'd be nice if they did.
Good. Well, then I'll go ahead and start talking about the next game since you don't have any notes on it. Everton and Brentford. This was a lot of the same from Everton as far as the fact that they were getting lots of opportunities. They were creating a lot, but they weren't making anything of it.
Fabian Hutzela.
There you go. It was they had 26 fucking shots.
Yeah.
Only 7 on target, but they had 26 fucking shots. It took 2 really fucking brilliant saves from fucking Pickford to make sure they didn't have a smash and grab against them, to be completely honest. You have a thought, or you're looking up something?
No, I'm going to do the math because I did do the math for another game, and I think I want to do the math for your game.
So
because of how bad 5 on 27 as rated by FOTMob, 5 divided by 27 equals 18.5. So you were better. You were better than the Newcastle game today.
Very good.
They only had an 11% return of shots to shots on target. Yeah.
Really, the big thing about this match is it's the red card. And,
big time.
And it's funny. Thomas Franks got a yellow for debating it, and then went on a little bit more in the post presser, and it was like, dude, if that happened in the middle of the field, it would have been a straight red. So what, did you just think because the guy was going for the ball in front of the goal and might have scored, you didn't think that was it was the minute I saw it happen, I was like, that's a fucking red. Like,
So
it wasn't even a question.
I totally agree it's a red.
Yeah.
I do not debate that at all. I can understand a touch of being aggrieved that the player is looking at the ball. The player's trying to play the ball.
You're right. But it doesn't matter.
No, because I was a defender.
Yeah.
Right? I've cleaned people out expecting to get a red and not.
Right. Got away with it.
And gotten away with it. I can understand why, if his attention was not on the player, his attention was on the ball, right? It's like turning like this to do something and you elbowing somebody that you didn't know was there.
And yes, Reds, before you make it all about yourself, I understand the irony that Pickford had injured Virgil van Dijk, the Dutch tulip. Moment of silence. Thank you. And it was in a situation where Pickford was just looking at the ball and not maliciously going after the man.
Yeah.
I totally get it. I totally get it.
It was also offside, so the play didn't even happen according to the law.
The play never happened.
I completely agree it's a red card, yes. He was high, he was reckless, but I can understand the grievance, and I would have the same grievance if I wasn't even looking at the player, if I didn't know this was coming.
Right.
You also just take into account, which shouldn't be taken into account. I agree with that also, but always is. Offensive players not good at tackling, but that is taken into account a lot. Yeah. So it's a definite red card. There's nothing, but I can understand the grievance.
Positive as an Everton supporter is it is multiple shutouts in a row now. The negative is we're not scoring any goals at all, and the schedule gets a lot harder.
Your upcoming schedule is essentially how Wolves started the season.
Right.
Right. So that's troublesome.
And the quote easy game in it is, well, the 2 quote easy games in it. One is a trip next week to Old Trafford. That's quote one of the easier ones. And then the other one is home to Wolves, and Wolves just got fucking hot.
Yeah, I think you're gonna be okay though. You all have looked a lot more stable this season than you have in the previous 2.
And amazing what happens when you add Branthwaite back to the lineup. You know, it's I
think you'll be fine.
We've talked too much about the match already.
If you can come in through these games with 4 points, these next 6 games, if you come through with 4 points, I think you've done a hell of a job.
Well, and also Leicester's going to drop like crazy, and I don't expect much from Southampton or Ipswich in that regards. I think that we'll see Wolves and Palace jump us.
Yeah.
You know, and we'll be probably
16th, 17th.
Right in that area, but we should be okay. Moving on. Things seem to be getting back to normal for the Gunners, man.
It's routine.
Yeah.
It turns out if you wear sky blue in the Premier League, you're not very good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Like City. I get it.
And Forest. Yeah, thank you. It was fine. I mean, it was fine. We did a good job.
And here's
I would have liked to have seen Gabriel Jesus. He started for a reason. Yeah. I would have liked to have seen him score just to get some confidence, put some pressure on Kai Havertz.
Right.
Maybe they start to feed off each other and we get goals out of both of them.
Right.
But he didn't even have a shot on target. I think his time as Arsenal's attempted center forward are over. For Gabby Jesus. He's going to start coming in on the wings as a sub, and I don't know that he's the first choice. I think Martinelli, obviously, Trossard, obviously, are first choice wingers. I think Gabriel Jesus is now a second to third string guarantee moving forward. But Odegaard's looking good.
Yeah, that's the two positives for you. Saka scored and Odegaard got an assist. Yeah, that's it. That's we get back to being routine. Routine is good. That's what you need.
Odegaard settled back in. Yeah. He completed 90 minutes. It looked good. Saka looked sharp, looked fit after the couple of week layoff. Pulled out of the England squad. Obviously, he was injured just prior to. Did play the game just before the international break, but decided to hold back and rest. Same as Odegaard. Decided to hold back and rest, and I thought they were both excellent. Yeah. Obviously, the first goal. I mean, to hit the ball back across yourself, to the far side. Mm-hmm. You saw, especially the camera angle behind the goal. You saw Sells. Yeah. He initially went to what would have been his near post and then tried to get back, and that's what fucked him. Yeah. It's just the forethought by Saka there was absolutely excellent. Thomas Partey had a thunderbolt, which was phenomenal. I thought Jorginho played well to start the game.
I'm going to keep to it. Partey's had low-key a fantastic season.
And we were able to rest Declan Rice, which is great, because he picked up a little bit of a knock over training over the international break as well. So we were able to rest him the entire game, which is super beneficial. And then you had Ethan Nwaneri come in and grab a goal late on, which just adds to the excitement and the confidence of the squad. We needed a routine good win. I would have liked a 4 or 5-0 statement because Forest have been good this season. Right. They've been very good this season. But we don't need it. We just get back to basics. Just do it.
Statement can be next week at West Ham.
Yeah, but they're not good either.
Yeah, but that could be that if you want like an emphatic statement of a game.
Oh,
like
yeah. 6-0 again? I'd like that. Yeah, 6-0 against West Ham again. I like that.
And Nottingham Forest was at the stadium, and they were there, and they were on the field. Moving on, Villa. Villa giving up another.
You're not wrong.
I wanted to write. There was nothing to write about them. I don't have anything written down for Forest because there's nothing to fucking say.
So there's
they attended. Nottingham Forest attended.
It's hard, right? Because I said this about African players a while back, and I do. Still kind of hold this. It's hard with African players in the Premier League because of the timing of their international tournament for their continent, right? You lose them for a month during the season. They're the only tournament that doesn't get a break for, right? Yep. Because it happens in January.
Yep.
When you have, I feel kind of this way about Oceanic and Asian footballers sometimes too. Mm-hmm. They have to travel so fucking far from England, which is apparently why Chris Wood was rested despite the scintillating form he's in. Right. Over the international break, he scored 5 fucking goals for New Zealand.
Jesus.
5 goals.
Wow.
In addition to what he's obviously scored for Forest at the beginning of the year and the international breaks prior to this. Mm-hmm. But there's been now 3 international breaks. He's been off to New Zealand. And then further than that, for those games, that's a lot of miles. And I think that's why he wasn't started, and that obviously hurt them because Awoniyi didn't do a goddamn thing in that game.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Right?
Let's stop talking about him. The whole point of the joke was we were moving on to the next game.
All right, cool.
Villa gives up another early goal. It just kind of has seemed to become routine for them.
3.5 minutes.
They love to give up early fucking goals.
Ismail Assar.
Now, I will say, in fairness, Palace looked good.
It was a good goal.
As a whole, Palace played well. Palace had a good game. And I will credit that to one thing and one thing only. Everybody always pays all the attention to Eze and how important he is. Cenk Doucouré was playing. He is the glue. He is 1,000% the glue to that team.
Yeah, he's not the flair, but he's the backbone.
He's the backbone. And when he is not there,
that being said,
he's not Rodri, but it's the same type of thing. It's that linchpin in the middle of the field that holds everything down, and that's what Doucouré does. That's exactly what Rodri does at a much better level, obviously, at City, but that's what Doucouré does, and he's so important to them.
Villa did strike the woodwork in this game as well. A couple of times also. They probably should have won the game. But I do want to talk about for all the kids listening at home, which I hope you aren't, to be honest, but I hope your parents are and they tell you about it. Ismail Assar, that touch, the ball first off from Ateta was brilliant. Perfectly weighted. Fantastic. But that first touch gave him every single possible option to finish that goal.
Yeah.
The key thing it did do was it took the defender that was trailing him out of the play because he was able to cut across him enough that the only way that defender could have defended that play, was to bring him down and get a red.
Right. Yeah.
So you saw him back off.
Yep. Yeah.
And that second touch opened up every possible shooting opportunity. It was also perfect.
Yeah.
Watch that on fucking repeat if you're trying to breed a striker at home.
There you go. Show
Watch that shit on fucking repeat. Ollie Watkins, conversely, twice hesitated when it mattered.
Barkley, too. There was one where he should have taken the hit, and instead he passed it into nobody.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Now,
And Villa could have walked out of there 4-2 winners. They absolutely could have.
And still lost the fucking penalty.
well, I was going to say that the second goal for Palace was an absolute comedy of errors because they get the penalty. Villa gets the penalty. It's a miss. And then
Save.
Yes, that's right. Henderson saved it.
He did save it.
Give Nicole's husband her credit.
Yeah,
his credit.
As a fellow keeper, he should say a save.
A keeper that way, and it's
But-
Nicole's
I
husband.
know.
But then
That's what I
she
said.
just said Nicole's
I'm
husband.
so used to you saying mine. I immediately, sorry, I didn't listen. I immediately attacked.
You're good.
I just like that.
Like a
Apparently,
mouse.
she has husbands while her husband's in the fucking room. But the thing is they turn right around on the counter and boom, back of the net. Like
She likes Stan Larson.
yeah, exactly. Well, the key thing there
It's better
for
without the R.
at least for Villa, they were able to get that equalizer and get away with a draw because a lot of teams that happens to. Game set match. Those kind of turnaround goals like that. Those are daggers.
So I'm going to throw this little nugget in because we're about to talk about their shitty situation. Remember I spent about 2 years saying Arsenal of 2 years ago would have lost this game? Villa of 2 years ago would have lost this game. Right? And we're coming up to United here shortly.
We're about to, it's the very,
So
when you
I
finish this point, that's
So
where
I
we're going.
want to make sure Ray knows. Because he's been, oh, well, motherfucker, y'all are just making fun of us because you can. Yep.
Yeah.
Sure are. You all had your time against my people. It's about to be time against yours.
Okay.
But what used to be said about my club is exactly what you could love at Villa here as well.
Yeah.
But they were strong enough to come back and get a point.
They got the point. That is all.
But at home, it's still a disappointment. I mean,
of course
this
it is.
should have been a win.
Of course it is. Now, here's the continuing of the joke. So, the new manager has started at Manchester United. Graham, not bothering to learn his name. Why bother?
I'll tell you. It's Ruben Amorim.
Who?
You shouldn't know his name.
Huh?
And I'll tell you why.
Uh-huh.
He was 10 for fucking 10 to start the season at Sporting in Portugal. Who are Arsenal's Champions League opponents tomorrow? Well, today, through the magic of radio. The first points he dropped this season were against Ipswich.
Again, I say, who?
Ed Sheeran said who, if you didn't see this. He was being interviewed by the Sky Sports blokes, Jamie Redknapp, Roy Keane, who also almost got in a fight. We'll talk about that shortly.
Fucking brilliant.
Yep. Ruben Amorim was in the middle of being interviewed by them, and Ed fucking Sheeran came down to say goodbye to Jamie Redknapp. Hey, what's up, bro? Nice to see you. See you later. Have a good one. And he issued an apology today, Monday. Issued an apology, said he wasn't sure that he didn't know that he was being actively interviewed when he walked onto the Sky Sports set to say goodbye to Jamie Redknapp.
Holy shit.
Fucking brilliant.
Oh, you know what? They'll always have the first minute 30.
It just proves
United. They'll always have the first minute 30.
that just we'll always have 90 seconds.
Yeah,
said
always.
every husband ever. The way he barged in Ed Sheeran was the way that I walk into my garage now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty much.
Y'all are doing something?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Die now.
Yeah, don't care.
That's pretty much all we have to say about the game, to be honest.
Ipswich played really well in their building.
Absolutely,
that's the kind of gumption you want to see out of that club.
Fantastic.
And for United fans, fucking they've got what you can't have. What you don't want is suddenly they're winning games like crazy, and it's just smoke and mirrors. And in a year, you're fucking firing this manager and going on to another one.
Well, let me tell you something that's bad. There was so much pointless possession. United had 60-40 in possession, right? Mm-hmm. But Ipswich had the same number of overall shots and actually more shots on target. Mm-hmm. And you're talking about Sammy Schmadix, an Irish international who never completes 90 minutes. You're talking about Liam Delap, whose father's best party trick was a fucking long throw, who had 3 or 4 shots on target. 2 of them were like back heels.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Versus Marcus Rashford, who started the Euros final 4 years ago, who has played for England, obviously, who has scored boatloads of goals for United. Obviously, the last 2 years hasn't had the best of times, but you're a newly promoted side that didn't spend a ton of money. He should be having a field day. He scored 1 goal 82 seconds in and didn't do fuck all for the rest of the game.
Yeah, exactly.
You have one of the most exciting youth talents in world football in Alejandro Garnacho, and you're ruining him.
Yeah.
You have £100 million worth of talent in Anthony on the bench. He is ruined. Done. I mean, he's a fucking joke, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
You've got Bruno Fernandes on the field, who's supposedly one of the best playmakers in football. I don't know the last time he had an assist. And I also don't know the last time he didn't behave like a petulant fucking child.
Yeah.
Which, to his credit, I'd be frustrated as fuck as well if I had his talent and those around me were that garbage. But you look at the stark nature. This is why we love this game, honestly, especially as neutrals when it doesn't happen to our clubs. Mm-hmm. With this stark difference in talent and just drive. I mean, United just look like overpaid fucking losers.
Yeah.
And they just can't get the job done. And Ipswich look like they want to try things. They want to do things. They want to say we belong here. I want to prove people wrong. I want to make a name for myself. And they're fucking doing it. It's lovely.
So we finally think Newcastle are back in the discussion. Their season is, quote, started. And then they tumble again.
Yeah.
They fuck right off again.
It's absolute dog shit,
It was
brother.
lackluster from them.
They need a
Fucking
full
lackluster.
The playing staff, needs a full fucking clean out.
Mm-hmm.
It needs a full fucking clean out. They need to get rid of these people. I told you before he took charge. I would have benched every one of them cunts. I'd have played the academy kids. They need to make it. They want to make it.
Right.
I'd have played the academy children. Go ahead.
Hey, just
show me you deserve to be here. And then when they perform, you tell the fucking way overpaid, petulant fucking children, well, they went out and won 2-1.
Yeah.
They're playing again next week.
Right.
And they're going to continue to play until y'all fucking figure it out. He got to the club. What was one of the first quotes we saw over the international break? Oh, training's kind of slow. So they're not even running?
Right.
They're not. What do you mean training's slow?
Mm-hmm.
What are they doing then?
Yeah.
And if you're not going to do that, that is the most basic fucking thing in football is run.
Mm-hmm.
Cunt. They're not doing it. Fuck them. There's just a bunch of overpaid babies, man.
Yeah.
They're not doing the work.
It's just disappointing.
And their leader is a cunt.
Yeah.
And it shows in Bruno Fernandes.
Mm-hmm.
I fucking hate him.
I'm talking about
and his
Newcastle,
big teeth.
dumbass.
What?
I went, you're still on United. I said Newcastle tumble again. We thought they started their season, and then you went on a rant again about
United. Yeah.
Oh,
well, that was bad from them. Newcastle was terrible.
It just,
you can't leave Souček open on a header. Period. West Ham were one of only 3 clubs that had not scored from a corner, and
Newcastle gave up their first corner goal as well.
Exactly, to Souček, and then they were so wasteful. Newcastle,
they had chances. They just didn't do anything.
So
with
wasteful.
It.
They had the lowest return of shots on target to shots.
Worse than Everton.
11.1%. They did 2 on target from 18 total. Absolutely pitiful. And some of them were relatively easy.
Yeah,
They just couldn't find the net. Fabianski really just didn't have much to do. To be honest with you, though, the entire game was pretty piss poor.
Oh, yeah, it was. It was.
This is Smokey's going to hate me for saying this. This is an absolute false dawn for West Ham. Mm-hmm. They are still not a good team.
No, they're not.
We are going to put you to the sword next week.
And everybody's talking about the potential of Lopetegui getting sacked. And it's like, I told you earlier in the year, if this is the choice you've made, you got to kind of stick with this choice. Yeah. Like,
to an extent, yes. You can't bring Moyes back for a third.
Look, as long as they don't go down, as long as they finish in 15th place, who just let the season be rough. Well, get through it.
I told you earlier, English Mark texted me. Mm-hmm. He seems to think Steve Cooper's prime for the West Ham job.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Graham Potter's been linked with it loosely once or twice, I've heard, because it's still a project and he's a project manager. Eddie Howe's under a ton of pressure at Newcastle, especially after this result. I think he may be actually in the running for that job since the England job is now gone.
Right.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens. I think Lopetegui bought himself 2 weeks, maybe bought himself to Christmas, to be honest, with this result. But I think it's a false dawn. West Ham did not look good for me.
I am kind of surprised we had... Mikel Antonio literally had his shirt ripped open like all the Hulkamaniacs and not even a foul, let alone a card.
No.
Okay.
Right. And VAR looked at that.
Yeah, and just went, that's fine. That's fine. You know, kind of like how VAR looked at the Ndidi foul and went, that's a yellow. It's not a red.
Yep.
Sure money.
'Cause weed.
Always go straight down the line.
Well, it's not.
Why did it move?
Because weed.
You did fucked up as you were puffing on your vape, which is brilliant. I lost again. I'm now down $1,100. Basically, thank you, Villa and Fulham.
Yeah, I lost as well, and I would say thank you, Villa. But even if Villa had managed to win, City got completely fucking trounced. And it's one of those kind of bets you're just kind of happy to lose. It's okay to lose this one.
Yeah.
Because City got their asses kicked.
I feel that.
So I'm still in the black. I'm still at $206 up.
Big Sam's Lock of the Week.
Did you know that 18.181818182% of the time,
that's better than your shot percentage.
it works 100% of the time, big boy. I am doing a duo of double chances this week. I'm going to take Fulham or draw with Spurs. I think Spurs are prime to fuck one right off.
Oh, yeah.
And,
definitely.
And
Because they're
Vicario
Spurs.
And Vicario is injured. And
Nice.
I think Marco is going to do a little kick in the old ass of that entire Fulham squad.
Yep.
And I am doing Liverpool or draw with City, and that is a plus 189.
Nice. Good for you.
Yeah, nice and simple.
All right, so like I said, I'm down 1,100. Oh, fuck. Is that what we're doing now for my sounder? Arsenal to win over West Ham. Obviously, Brighton over Southampton. Brentford over Leicester. And then Liverpool and City to draw straight up. Not a double chance, just a draw.
Not good gambling.
Gets me plus 1,209. Cold hard,
Nine-way parlay.
cold hard American doll hairs on my $100 bet.
Very good. Very, very good.
I think it's going to be okay.
Huh?
I really do.
That's going to wrap it up, boys and
Back in
girls.
the positive.
Going to wrap it up, boys and girls. Mr. Graham, any parting words?
Not really.
You don't want to talk about Roy Keane?
Oh, yeah, I guess we should, shouldn't we? Obviously, they had the Sky Sports desk post-game at Ipswich, Manchester United. One of the Ipswich supporters that stuck around in the front row was giving him a bit of a ribbing. Obviously, the video didn't
Right.
show us that part. But what it did show was Roy Keane coming over and telling the guy that he'll meet him in the fucking car park after.
Yeah. Like,
Just meet me in the car park.
yeah. We'll meet out in the car
I'll
park.
meet you out in the car park if you want.
That's nice and
You
simple.
just wait in the car park for me. I've got a job to do, but I'll meet you in the car park.
We'll settle this.
And just Roy never changed.
Just,
Never changed.
Roy, you just keep being Roy,
I'm
man.
totally in for it.
Do it for me.
And I hope he fucked him up. I really do.
Yeah, he definitely did. Kind of what we were talking about pre-show about the whole people forget that they're athletes and that they're kind of strong and
Especially that one.
Yeah.
I'm amazed that when you said, especially when we were talking about, I went to his sound check story.
built.
If I need a lieutenant.
Roy Keane,
For the mouse killing.
He'll kill a fucking mouse, no
Oh,
problem.
yeah. I need a lieutenant. I might try to see if he wants in.
Come over, become part of the Graham Army.
Let's go. Come on.
Let's go do this.
Big time.
I'll be your Patrick Vieira, Roy. Let's get it done. Let's go fuck shit up. All right. Well, next up is DU Does the EFL, where we're going to talk about the rest of English football. And then after that, we have Injury Time, which is our preview show. We talk about the beers we're drinking, a little bit about fantasy, and our adopted club, who is no doing so good right now.
No.
Like, not at all.
Not at all.
Now, DU Does the EFL is completely free.
And streamed.
Yes. But if you want to support the show in another way, how do you go about doing that, you good little whore? Do it for the third time tonight.
Oh, come on. It's patreon.com/DU Football Show. Just sign up to that $5 tier. You get all the extras Sam is talking about. Obviously, the EFL show will be on this channel in about 4 minutes after we all take a quick piss and refresh our beverages. But for those extras, you got to pay that $5. You find those, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised at how funny it is and good it is.
Shout out to anybody that is a middle class hole listener that's checking us out for the first time.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, reach out. Let us know
Our
what
friends,
you think. Yeah.
Alan, obviously one of their parish, the smooth, docile tones of one Alan Giannis, as Sam would describe it. I just call him a cunt. Has guest hosted this show every time I've had a child at least once.
He will be guest hosting. I have a whole stable ready to rock and roll for when you're gone in late December.
Because it takes 4 people to do my job. So welcome, gentlemen, and make sure you check out the middle class holes.
I paid you a compliment right there near the end of the show, just talking about your wealth of knowledge, and Alan definitely shit all over you right after that.
I can't wait.
The minute I finished it, he shit right on you. I was like, there we go.
I can't wait. I'm excited to listen to it
That is the frenemy we all live for.
for the first time. I'm excited to listen to his show for the first time.
Until next week, everybody.
Good night. I listen to it a lot for real, I promise.
Born in the land of Bowie, Maryland. Bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Houston.
Sam Houston?
Arsenal fans have another Sam. Right day, the fucking Gooner Graham. Smoke of a lord. Look straight in shorts. Sam Graham, hey.
Sam Graham.
United! the fucking mute button.